Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. It's essentially Friday since tomorrow's a no trade day. So, it is essentially Friday today. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it Friday, even though it's Thursday. Let's see. I'm just. Hey, Legos. Good morning. I feel like it's like fake Friday. Let's see. It looks like stuff's already popping up. So I was just looking at the S&P. Really pulled back yesterday, but it sounds like futures are up today. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's see what's going on today. I'm thinking it could be kind of slow, like some Fridays are before a holiday. I don't know. We'll see. WPRT and IHT. Okay, let's see. There's news. InSuite's Hospitality Trust announces continued exploration of opportunities. That sounds pretty vague, don't you think? All right, let's see. 9 million shares. Hard to borrow. Relative volume is 1.1, so the relative volume is still kind of low. I put my little scanner on, see what comes up. ICCM, CIITI. A lot of these are heading down. They might have popped up earlier. IHT. Whoops, WPRT. Did I just take that off? That's weird. Yeah, it looks like I'm expecting things to be a little slow today. But all right, so WPRT made a high of day. This one is 17 million shares outstanding. Lower relative volume. So there's a high up to 415, so it's getting close to that. I wonder if it must be over the 200 simple moving average then, I'm guessing. Maybe. And they also have news. Westport Fuel Systems, Aspira JV signs development agreement with Volvo to commercialize. That sounds like better news, actually, than this one. This news sounds really vague. Oh, exploring reverse merger. That's what they mean by diversification opportunities. Okay. So two things are popping up with news right now, but we've got IHT that they both have news. They both have a float under 20 million. They're both trading with volume. The relative volume's kind of low on these, but fix this. This seems like might be on a downtrend, but here's resistance potentially. Does anyone have any good plans for the weekend? I'm playing it kind of chill this weekend. All right, so I'm going to actually look. Today's goal for me is working on support and resistance. So I want to pay special attention to that today. That's my plan. I won't get to do my Friday goal this week. So, okay, so I actually asked Claude to kind of help me come up with drills to work on some basic skills every day. Today I'm working on support and resistance. Okay, so this looks like a potential hammer. This right here is a bullish shaped bottom. I'm starting to identify them now. Okay, so what qualifies as a valid level of support and resistance? Okay, this is what Claude said. A valid level needs at least two of these three. One, price stalled or reversed. They're at least twice in recent history. Two, there was above average volume at those touches. And three, it's a round number. Interesting. One touch with no volume is not a level. Two touches with volume is valid. Three touches with volume is strong. Interesting. Good morning, Flip Flop. So price, okay, so here the price reversed, but it says at least twice. So this is a potential level of resistance, and this is a potential level. Well, okay. It was resistance here, and now it's support. Does that count as two touches? Let's see. Price stalled to reverse there at least twice in recent history. I think this counts as two touches. Above average volume at those touches. So there is above average volume at this touch. Okay, and let's see, here's a touch here. There is not above average volume there. Interesting. Okay, all right. And it's a round number. Let's see, 325, 223. Okay, so this is going to take me some getting used to. And again, I realize that AI is not always accurate. Learned that the hard way. Okay. So interesting. So when price approaches, okay, so here, like if we say this level here, volume on touch, high, low, or average, and the held or, okay, so this does not have high volume at this point, but this has high volume. So that's, let's see, that is a above average volume at the touch. This is not necessarily a round number, and it didn't reverse there at least twice in recent history. Although we could look at yesterday. Nope. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. So I wonder if this counts, if it touched as resistance here and support here. So let's see. AMBO, what's that? Today could be kind of slow. I'm just thinking, possibly. I don't know. I feel like it could be more Friday vibes today. Okay, so this counts when it's a touch for resistance and a touch for support. That counts as 2 touches with volume, unusual volume at those areas. So here, this was 1 touch. There is higher than average volume at that point. And then here, there's volume. And it's funny because it touched that point again and there's volume here. So this would be a valid level of support and resistance, right? Here it's resistance, here it's support, and then it breaks that level of support. So that would make that a valid level. Yeah, pseudo Friday. Exactly. Yeah. So it could be, I feel like people are going to kind of bail out on trading early today. Maybe, and I got to get some liquid IV in. I'm a little dehydrated. And so I'm not expecting a ton today. PBK. All right, so then based on this definition, this is not necessarily resistance because it's only touched 1, or it could be, so it has to be 2 out of those 3 things. Which is why I think my break of a whole dollar setup isn't really working, because just simply being a whole dollar isn't enough. You have to have something else there, like maybe it's also a level of actual resistance. I don't have enough things pointing in the same direction. CAST, a lot of things are popping up, but oh wow, that seems like good news for CAST. They entered into a reseller agreement for Starlink. That sounds like very good news for them. Look at that jump from $5 up to 16. Holy smokes. It's a big jump. So, wow. That is a huge jump. That's fantastic news, right? All right, so let's see what I've got going on here. WPRT. Now, I was thinking yesterday, should I draw levels of support or resistance at the top of the body of the candle or the tails? trying to, you know, yeah, so this is good. I'm glad I'm kind of having a basic thing each day to kind of focus on. I think that'll help me really dial in on the fundamentals. Instead of trying to learn everything at once, I'm isolating certain skills each day. So I've been using the tails as levels of support and resistance. But according to AI, I should be using the bodies. The body shows where the price opened and closed. That's where the market made its decision and committed. The tail is where price briefly explored but got rejected. It's noise, not commitment. Because I remember one of the Russ Cameron videos, he had talked about the difference between the two. Never for sure, Herb. Okay. So he talked, like, yeah, Russ Cameron had talked about, like, in one of his videos, in one of his classes, like, about how it was his opinion that he looked at the tails for his purposes, for his strategy, but recognized that sometimes people use the bodies to determine where the breakout should be. So now I'm looking at WPRT, and if I draw this as the high at the bodies, then it's approaching the high. That's kind of a shift for me, but I've been feeling like the tails are giving me a lot of false breakouts, so I think this is something worth exploring for me. So, and it's breaking that level. So if I were going to use the tops of the bodies as the level of breakout, this confirmed above that level, then I guess if this volume bar keeps going up and it keeps driving up, that would be a place to get in, right? Looking for a high of day, but it's good to question things, right? Just because you've been doing something, I mean, if it was working, I would be profitable, right? The bottom of the body on a support level or the top of the body on a resistance level. If the price keeps closing around 650 but wicking down to 642, your support line is 650, not 642. An exception worth knowing: if the same tail price repeats multiple times, meaning price wicks to 642 over and over across several candles, that wick level becomes valid on its own. And that's a lot of my flat top breakouts are like that. Okay, see here, and I know I didn't trade it, but if I used the top of the bodies as the high and I wanted to wait for confirmation, I would have waited for this candle to close and then I would have gotten in here. It would have dipped down below this level, but and this volume bar is not as strong as this volume bar. But if I look at, it said that there should be higher than average volume at points of support and resistance. Well, if this is one point, that's a high volume bar. And if this is another point, that's a high volume bar. So this does seem to be the correct point of resistance, and it touches 2 points. So that is what's been happening to me, Aligos. I'm getting false breakouts. And this is something I'm just noticing on my own. I'm like, over time, I'm like, I feel like the top of the wick is not, unless, like it says, like AI said, Claude, I use ChatGPT too, but Claude said, unless it's like obvious that the wicks are all lining up at a certain level, which is how I end up getting a lot of my flat top breakouts. But that's a really obvious level that it's hitting. But yeah, I think the bodies, I've been maybe using the wrong point for resistance and support. So, you know, I think I need to rethink this. This is why I like to keep hammering down the basics, because when you're new at something, sometimes you're chasing down the wrong path, you know? And you don't know it because you don't know what you don't know. So this could be a real shift for me. So I hope you all have a good weekend planned. I have like refused a bunch of plans. I'm like, I want to just rest and work on my landscaping, work on my yard. Yeah, that's what's been happening to me. Like here, okay? I previously would have said, all right here is the top, but if I look at this right here, I mean, that makes a lot more sense. Makes a lot more sense. What's total view flip-flop? I only have, well, this is what I have here. I don't have, but I know what you're saying. Like, do you mean like you can see like clusters of selling and buying at the levels of support and resistance? Is that what you mean? This is my Thursday goal. Look up NASDAQ total view. Okay, cool. Just writing some of this stuff down. Just, you know, all right, let's see. NASDAQ total view. NASDAQ, whoops, total view. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is like even more in depth than what I'm able to see here on Thinkorswim. Got it. Oh, interesting. So that's maybe something to consider once I get really, really good at at the fundamentals. That would be the place to level up. Got it. Okay. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. So, okay, so if I go by this definition that AI is giving me, it gives me drills too. Like I asked it to basically create a curriculum to help me learn these fundamentals so I could dial in a little bit deeper. Okay, so it says, do not draw more than 3 lines. You can't justify a level in one sentence. Yeah, I mean, I guess too many levels on here can get really confusing, right? I mean, I was watching is it the Geek Trader, the Trading Geek? He was saying like people put too many lines on their charts. You know, I was like, dude, I've been there. Good morning, James. So I'm gonna really try to get used to using, I'm gonna try using the bodies, not the wicks, and see how that goes. Here is a little spike in volume. All right, let's see what else is going on. I can get kind of caught up in oh, okay, so this, since today is support and resistance, all right, now see, I was looking at the high of day with the wick, so let's try to look at this a little differently. This is high of day, but it's a little less clear now. A little less clear. Because, you know, obviously the price did go up to that level. Because in a way, the time frame is kind of not arbitrary, but like, of course, it's going to look different on another time frame. The candles are going to look a lot different. So if it touched here and here, but there wasn't like a volume, the volume spikes were here and here. So this at 15, it's at a whole dollar and touching twice and volume spikes. So this meets those criteria. Okay, just figuring stuff out. Oh, wait, on WPT? Yep, WPRT. 320 is the resistance, right? Seems obvious. Well, I don't know. I guess, is it? Oh, this is the 5 minute. Hold on, let me go back to the 1 minute. So that would be the top of most of the tips of the 320. 320 would be right here. I don't know. I would say if I was using, honestly, I feel like right here is 318, but now that's interesting because to you, something seems so obvious. Of course, you're a lot more experienced, right? And over time, it'll probably get obvious to me too. I guess if it was obvious to me, I would be profitable. So I have to keep practicing, right? Yeah, I guess if it was obvious, it would seem profitable. So one of the things, I know I'm a Whiteskin fangirl, but one of the things that Josh Whiteskin says in his book is the study of numbers to leave numbers. You know, he was a chess champion. And he talked about, you know, just diving so deep into the combinations and the chess math. But then eventually it just kind of went beyond the numbers and went to a place that's more intuitive. So I'm still at the point where I'm into the numbers. I haven't gone beyond the numbers yet. I'm still diving deep into the numbers, but hopefully eventually it'll be like, I'll look at the chart and be like, oh, that's obvious, you know? Like when I try to explain things to my students at the gym, I'm like, you know, I have to remember that they don't see things the same way. It's not obvious to them. But I hope to get there. All right, so I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. I might be more in learning mode today, guys, because I don't know. Well, so this definition of support and resistance that I'm using from, on WPT, see how it just broke through? And you see how much volume it took to get through that level. Right here, right? That's what that's one of the things that it's saying. It's linking, this probably is obvious now that we're talking about it, but I didn't really connect the level of volume with the level of support or resistance. I know that sounds ridiculous now that I'm saying it out loud on a live stream. But honestly, it might have come up in some of the Warrior Trading's classes. I'm kind of curious. It'll be really interesting to go back and look through my notes and stuff. But I should bring up the old journal because I know there was a whole section on support and resistance. And I guess I never made that connection that there will be a spike in volume when it breaks through a level. I feel so dumb now, but it does sound obvious when you say it out loud. So I'm curious. I didn't really index. I meant to index this. Did I index? Oh, I did. Okay. But where would support and resistance be? Technical analysis. 23. I didn't really. I'm curious what my notes say. Gaps in windows. You know, flip-flop, that makes so much sense. Like, I feel so dumb that I didn't put it all together. And this is why I had AI put together a curriculum. I said, like, I need you to give me exercises and drills so that I can focus on this stuff on a regular basis, because I'm clearly missing something. Like, you know, I'm clearly missing something. And that's definitely a piece that I've been missing. Okay, support and resistance. Here are some notes from when I took the class. Half and whole dollars, which, yep, trend lines, ascending, descending, resistance at big sellers, support at big buyers. Well, I guess that would translate into volume. So I did have a note about that, but it didn't really sink in. So maybe that's what you're saying. You can see it on the level too. Big buyers and big sellers. So he did say that, but I didn't really think about it in terms of volume. Okay. Learning. Okay, and then I know I went through everything again. Where did I put shit? Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to swear. All right, so how can I beep that out? Support and resistance. Part 4. Let's see. Part 3, Chapter 5. Let me see. Let me go back to, because I went through the whole thing again. I did the class like multiple times. Okay, here we go. I'm just looking to see. Watch volume. Oh, these are more like chart patterns, which clearly I'll get to next week, but okay, that makes sense. Levels are kind of clumped around those levels, like 50K. Right, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Like it was in my notes, but I didn't really connect it to volume. So you'd see the big orders on the level 2 clustered around those levels, and then you'd see the spike of volume if it breaks through that level. So like, for example, here, you need to have a higher volume of buying in order to push through that level of resistance, an area of resistance. Got it. Yep. You're watching the light bulb go off in real time, guys. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I'm trying to focus on things. All right. So, really, really crazy. All right. So, 3 points. Just kind of going back and looking at the notes here. Okay. Price stalled or reversed. Volume. Above average volume. Above average. And potentially a round number. A half or whole dollar. And C volume on level 2. Interesting that it's crazy how we can just stumble through something for months and then, you know, it's like, oh, okay. So PBK, let's see what's going on with that. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Right. And then if after it falls, then everyone sees more clearly as resistance, and then people put more orders out there. And that sounds like that's where the psychology comes in, right? That's where the psychology comes in. Well, thank you, Flip Flop. Yeah, this is really interesting because, you know, I suspected that I didn't have a deep enough understanding of these fundamentals. I suspected it. Right. And I see it so clearly with the flat top breakouts. Like I can see it so clearly. I can see the resistance, the volume pulling back, but I can see the pressure building. And that's where it, on the flat top breakouts, I'm seeing the price is stalling there. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Learning, learning, learning. So PBK. All right. So let me see what's going on. Let's see. We still have CAST. That's crazy news. Okay. So now here at right around 16, this is a potential level of resistance. Wait a minute. So if we look at, here's 15. Here's 1550. Interesting. QTEX News, quantum chip. You missed it? Oh, you missed the run up. That's crazy. Wow. Wait, a cryogenic chip carrier? That sounds honestly like science fiction. I love it. I knew it was just a matter of time till this quantum stuff just blew up. Okay. So, wow. That's such interesting news. Good morning, Spidey. That's such interesting news. Oh my God. I love news like this. A company focused on advancing additively manufactured electronics for quantum computing infrastructure today announced that one of the largest US-based interconnect manufacturers has moved QTech's AME system from a development environment onto its production floor following an extensive validation program. That seems like pretty big news. Oh, okay. I mean, it's so crazy. Like quantum computing. I mean, so crazy. We were watching it. Yeah, they have great news. Uh, it has to do with Starlink, right? So it entered into a reseller agreement for Starlink Business Services, adding broadband access to its portfolio. I mean, I think that's great news. These things have great news. I think it's interesting that they're releasing such amazing news today. I mean, this is a very real question. I'm not a scientist, but is quantum computing actually related to quantum physics? Like, I know that sounds dumb, but sometimes you hear words thrown around casually. Like, I really don't know much about it, but that sounds so interesting. Because I thought we couldn't see things like quarks and all the stuff that's at the quantum level. I thought that wasn't visible to the eye, but I know there are like machines that can detect that or detect the evidence of quantum mechanics. That's crazy. Again, probably a question for a quantum physicist, which I am not. But all right, PBK. This looks kind of choppy to me. But they have great news too. So what's the other reason, Spidey? So if I look at, okay, if I look at this in terms of levels of support and resistance, there are spikes here and here and here at 16. So it meets 2 of the 3 criteria. That's the thing. It's a whole another level of science that previously wasn't even like they couldn't even see it. So I don't know. I don't keep up on quantum physics, but that's crazy, honestly. It's like the stuff of science fiction, and I love that the edge of science keeps moving forward. I just think that's incredible. Okay, so let me go back to my definition. It said, okay, price stalled or reversed at least twice in recent history, above average volume at those touches, and a round number. It has to meet 2 of those 3 criteria. So this is the round number, 16. I can't seem to get it exact. Let me try to do it. There we go. So that's a potential level of resistance. And it did spike. The volume spiked here. It spiked here. It spiked here with the price action. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. Why am I not? Why does it take me so long to figure these out? I'm telling you, like, AI is insane all on its own. But yeah, that's true. Quantum physics and AI at the same time. Be nice to your computer. They're going to take over. Pretty soon we're just going to be managed. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, quantum physics and AI are the stuff of science fiction from when I was a kid, and now it's reality. It's amazing. So if I look here at for support, 13 seems like a good level of support. So I guess the volume piece at levels of support would be different. Oh no, I didn't. Sorry, I was working last night. Let me check. I'm gonna have to listen to it. Let me check. Sorry, I was at the gym late. Oh my God. Should I play? I don't know if anyone will be able to hear it. Should I play it on the live stream? Is that okay if I play it on the live stream? Let's see. All right, let's see. You used AI to create a picture of me. That's hilarious. That's the album cover. That is hilarious. I don't know if you guys can hear it. They call me the breakout maven. Cut my teeth on the streets of Boston, slinging candlesticks before the sun was even risen. I wake up at 6. I don't answer to nobody. Got my scanner loaded, my coffee strong and steady. I run these pre-market streets, you already know. Flat top breakout, I called it 3 candles ago. I don't do small talk, I do small caps. Floats too tight, somebody's about to snap. I see a hammer forming, I don't even blink. Doji shows up, I just nod like, yeah, I think. Bearish engulfing, I respect the power move. Step back, watched it happen, didn't have nothing to prove. Oh my God, this is awesome. 55 years old and I'm still wide awake. Yo, this is Raven. I run trust like a savage. New to the game. Flip flop, you're crazy. I love it. Breakout maven, ain't seen nothing like me yet. I don't carry a weapon, I carry conviction. A watch list of tickers and 0 restriction. 3 white soldiers, that's my whole platoon. Marigold candle, I'm cashing out by noon. This is actually really, really good. Stock starts cracking, I don't even frown. Chat says, Raven, watch it, I already see it. I've been on this candle since before you could read it. I'm not your guru, I don't run the school. I'm just a Boston trader who breaks all the rules. Wakes up. This is really, really good, Flip Flop. Don't follow my trades, that ain't how this works. I'm out here learning, taking my own lumps and jerks. This ain't advice, this is just my show. Watch how I move, then go find your own flow. Yo, this is Raven, I run trust like a savage. This is crazy, guys. Wow, that's really good, Flip Flop. That was really good. Wow, I can't believe you made that in like an afternoon. That was really good. Flip Flop, you got something there. Ooh, Aligos, good trade on QT. Oh, because it made another run up. Nice. Flip Flop, thank you. That is really good. That was very 8 Mile. Like very, I felt like I could get in there with Eminem. Wow, that was really good. On the news tab, no, it does. Well, it shows like that's a good question, Spidey. It shows like I'd use the Thinkorswim news tab, and it does. It shows some press releases. Like it kind of just puts all the news in chronological order. So you have to sort of filter through it. It doesn't have, I don't think it has a separate news tab. Let's see. You can select the source. Like if I want to do Reuters, just Reuters, or, I can just select one, but I have it to all of the channels. Let's see. What else? No, I don't think you can really select a specific news stat. Thank you so much. That's crazy. That was so good. I gotta sit down and like listen to it again after the live stream. That was really, really good. I can't believe you did that in like an afternoon. That's hilarious. Yeah, thank you so much for doing that. That's so awesome. Um, let's see. Yeah, so it gives you like news in chronological order from these 10 news sources. Okay, CNBC, Reuters, MT Newswires, Dow Jones and Company Inc., Business Wire, Bazinga, Pure Newswire, Globe Newswire, IB Investor Inc., and Access Newswire. And of course, if I really want to delve deeper, I guess I just Google something. Yeah, right? I can hear that it's got like, I have a Bose speaker that I had actually bought my boyfriend like a while ago, and then he got like a better speaker for his system. So he gave it back to me, and I use it for parties and stuff. I'll put it on that. So, you know. QTech CRVO. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, what do you use for news, Spidey? Oops, let me put my microphone back on. What do you use for news? Because when I had Warrior Trading Scanners, they also had news, which I loved the fact that it had like a news alert next to the ticker with like, it was color coded. So you knew like if it was new news. Of course, I just look, Oh, if I want to look at SEC filings, I can go into analyze, and I think fundamentals. Let's see. Or I can just look on, well, this will give the quarterly, let's see, last interim filing date, May 14th. I think I can just look online for that. What's the one that, earnings? Let's see. Fundamentals. Yeah, I think I can just look online for that, right? Aren't there like places to look? If I just look on SEC filings. Whoops. Edgar. That's the one I've used. Edgar. I've used Edgar on the sec.gov website. So how do you use that information to trade? So for example, when you look at CAST and you look up that information, how do you use that to day trade something like CAST? The SEC denied the 5 million shares on their one form from being resold due to a lack of disclosure. So whoever is short and thought they were going together, it should be offered by Thinkorswim. It probably is on a tab here, but in the past, I've gone to, this is what I've used in the past. Right on the SEC website, Edgar Search Assistance, this is what I've used to look up the filings. So you can, you can access the data here. Cast is on the back side of the movie. Why do you say that? Why do you say that, Buddy the dog? It looks to me like it's trading sideways in a channel, but you're saying it's on the back side. BAMSEC. Okay. Okay. So in the SEC filings, you'll get things like their annual report and their quarterly filings. And then if they want to like sell more shares, they'll have to file something with the SEC. There's like a whole list of, if you just Google like SEC filings codes, it'll tell you like, what the list of different things are. I think there's like the 10K, the 8K. So like if you're an investor, like for long-term investing, fundamental analysis, and you want to look up, you can go right on the company's website and they'll have things like their annual report and quarterly filings. But if you want to look up, like if they need to, if they want to sell more shares, they have to do a shelf registration. And there's all kinds of things that they have to file. And so with the SEC, the Securities and Exchanges Commission, so they keep a record of all those filings, and you can look that up. So, that's a great, it is rejected 3 times quite aggressively. Okay. Yeah. I mean, no, I'm not, this is what I'm asking because I'm curious, like I'm trying to learn. And one of the things I'm trying to look at this week is like, what is the dominant candle in the session? And you're right, there's some big red candles here, really big red candles. Like this is concerning because I don't want to get into it and then have it just flush down like $1.50 a share, right? CRV flat top breakout about to happen. Ooh, I love those. I love those. Let's see, where'd it go? Yeah, so this is definitely a potential flat top breakout with the volumes reduced a little, but sometimes they do reject. See, it's fading off. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they break out and sometimes they just fade off. We'll see if this one breaks out or fades off. That is my favorite setup though. Thank you, Flip Flop. They file perspectives. Yep. Oh, okay. Okay, BAMSEC. So that's another place that you can look at it. I know there's a bunch of places that you can, BAMSEC, that you can look at SEC filings. I just tend to go to the source. I was a federal government. You're right, Flip Flop. It's going to break out. I'm looking at the volume candle, though. I want to see confirmation with the volume candle. Let's see if the volume if it gives me enough volume to get in. Don't touch CRVO. Okay, curious why. When you guys say something, you got to explain a little bit, Look at the filing from 6-4. All right. I might have to do that after because I'm keeping an eye on CRVO. Look at that filing from 6-4. Yeah, I just tend to go to the source because I was a government worker. So for 17 years, I worked for the federal government. So I always go to like the source website, but I'm sure there are websites that show you like, that make the information faster. Trust me. Wow, it's really consolidating under this level right here, 515 maybe, but it's not, oh, this is interesting. The daily is at 542, 200 EMA, nowhere to run. I can get 10 cents a share on that though. I could still get 10 cents a share. If this breaks out, I'm more of a scalp trader anyway. So if it only goes up 10, up, there we go. So that's good for me. 6 cents a share is good for me. I'm a scalp trader. So that's good to know. Look, and you're right, buddy. Look at that. It just tapped $5.40 because a lot of people are probably looking at either the exponential moving average, the 200 exponential moving average, or the 200 simple moving average, right? Which I used to keep on my charts because that is a definite point of resistance, but I don't have indicators on there right now. I'll probably add them back at some point. And I liked the 200 simple moving average. I felt like there wasn't a massive difference between the two, but all right, so that was CRVO. I'm being really lazy today, guys. That haven't done a lot of trading today. Okay. Was that bull flag before the pump? CRVO. Was that bull flag before the pump? Was this a bull flag before the pump? You mean down here, Aligos? Down here? Or this right here? I'm not sure I see a clean bull flag on this one. Oh, thanks, buddy. I had all of that on my chart. Except I liked to use the 200 simple moving average, but I had all of that on my chart up until about a month ago. And I'll probably put a lot of it back on my chart. The reason I took it off is because I wanted to focus on fundamentals. I do miss VWAP though. I don't know. I miss VWAP and the 9 EMA. I didn't really use the 20 EMA that much, to be honest. That was the first thing I took off. But I do miss VWAP sometimes. Let's see. Let's see where VWAP is. All right. See, I do miss VWAP. I think it did help me sometimes. All right, I'm really curious. Okay, so CAST. Yeah, these big red candles. You know what I'm going to do just for fun today? I'm going to put all my indicators back on. Kind of in the mood for that. How's that? I'm going to put them all back on. So, I'm going to take off things that I was playing with. Let's see, VWAP. All right, so this one's the 9. Let's see, 9, but I'm gonna leave that light blue. 9. Okay. And this one, I'll make the 20. I'm just kind of curious. I'm going to try putting everything back on today and see what happens. Just a little experiment. Okay. My MACD was the one that I had MACD on there. Add selected. Let's see. I have VWAP, 9 EMA, 20 EMA. Okay, apply. Oh, and the 200 daily. So daily simple moving average. Let me make this one purple. I like when my simple moving average is purple. And I'm going to make that 200. I'm going to save it as a set. All the things. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it all the things. Save. I'm calling my study set all the things. You also have ADTX. That's the clean winner of the session right now. That's where the focus is. CRVO, but it wasn't super obvious. Not bad for a tiny scalp though. Yeah, I'm kind of a scalp trader. ADTX. Let's take a look. ADTX. Oh my God. So dehydrated today. All right. That is the job. Oh my God, flip-flop. Like trying to not get stressed about not taking trades. That is definitely, I took a few more trades after my live stream yesterday and went deeper red. Super bummed out, but like, I don't know, just sitting on my hands is probably the best thing to do. Okay, so I'm, as an experiment, putting all my indicators back on. This feels so funny. I haven't done this in a while. This is so funny. Oh my God, it really changes the way I look at things. So I wonder why it's stopping here. That's weird. Edit, study, aggregation day, close price show, plot names, show input names, show plot, show bubbles, show title. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's right here, 604. All right. Sorry, it's just been so long since I had the indicators on here. So here it's saying that the 200 simple moving average is 604. I realize that's different than the exponential, right? But that is definitely, buddy, do you follow Ross Cameron? Because he says that all the time. What is the most obvious stock? And I feel like that's really helpful to be like, what is the most obvious stock of the day? That is a really helpful way to look at it. Okay. So guys, I put my indicators back on. I know it's going to mess up. It's going to make it harder to see my chart, but all right. So going by my indicators, CRVO is out. Look at that. MACD flipped and it's below VWAP and below the 9 EMA and below the 20 EMA. So CRVO is out of the game. All right, QTEX. I'm going to just look at all of them and see where. All right. Again, I used MACD a lot. Definitely this would have been, and it's clearly the backside of the move, right? Wow. Having the indicators on feels like a superpower right now. Like I've been... No. Just, throw stuff out there. I mean, I'll try to keep up with the chat as best I can. How do you search stock symbols on Edgar? You search, but it finds the word. Oh, okay. That's a good question. I should do like a video on that. I haven't looked in a long time, Herb. I haven't done that in a while, so I would have to take a look here. Accessing Edgar, download this information for free, query it through. Here we go, Edgar public searches. Search filings. So here, like, let's just say CAST, cast, and then submit, and then it brings up the filings. So let's go back. I'll show you that again. So here, if you go to the SEC page, right, and you go to accessing Edgar data, you want to go to SEC Edgar, accessing Edgar data. Edgar data. Sorry, I'm from Boston. We drop our R's and we add R's where they're not supposed to be. Like would say, like, instead of winner, would say like winner. It's a winner. Edgar data. Click on Edgar public searches. Here, put in the ticker CAST. And so, like what Spidey said, right, was look at the filing from 6/4. So I don't see a filing from June 4th. This is the latest filings, excluding insider transactions. View filings here. The last thing that's on the website is the 8K. 10Q is the quarterly report. And you can see here all the different kinds of filings that they have. And like I said, a lot of S1, is that the shelf registration right here? So you can kind of look and see, and Ross Cameron does this a lot. Like because he looks at that stuff a lot, Spidey. So he'll pull up, when he has questions, he'll pull that up, and he uses another website, and I'm trying to remember what it was called, but WKSP. WKSP. Let's see. WKSP. Oh, look at that. Feels so weird to have the indicators on. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by it. So yeah, I hope that helps, Herb. Like, I hope that helps because yep, free cast. Yep, okay. Look at that. WKSP. So this is, again, one of those things that now that I have the indicators back on, so crazy. It looks so, BAMSEC. Is that the one? That's what it is. It's the one that Ross uses. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I have all my old notes here. Where did I put them? Like, so out of it today. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm always tired because I work Mondays and Wednesday nights. Okay, so, and lately I've been sparring on top of it. So yeah, I have my notes from like the third time I went through Ross's beginner course. I keep, I didn't see the one from 6/4 on there. I don't see one from 6/4. All I see right now, the latest filing is May 28th. It's an 8K. This is the CAST. Company information, latest filings, excluding insider transactions. So maybe that's something, is that an insider transaction? So let's see, if I do all, let's see what comes up. All, let's see. If I do all, I still don't see it. Let's see. Exclude insider transactions, current reports, beneficial ownership, insider transactions, proxy statements. I put all, but I don't see it. Okay, it's BAMSEC. All right. So maybe that one is a little bit easier to see. Maybe that has other information, but I do tend to go to the source, you know, as a former federal employee. I like to go to the BLS website for economic data, like on CPI or PPI releasing. I like to go to the SEC website for SEC stuff. I'm sure these other websites do make it easier because as a former federal employee, I can tell you it is unnecessarily complicated. Okay, good. But yeah, BAMSEC, check that out as well. I think that might make it a little bit easier to look at. Let's see, BAM. Oops, So here's BAMSEC. So this is another option for looking up filings and everything like that. Yeah, and like clearly, you know, Spidey uses that information a lot for his strategy, right? And I think maybe as I get more experienced, I will use it more too. You know, Ross definitely looks up filings and things like that. And again, you know, my strategy might be kind of deviating from Ross's a little bit, but like he knows what he's doing for his strategy, right? That's, you know. Oh, okay. Webull has a widget for that too. That's kind of cool. Thinkorswim might have something. I just probably don't know where it is. Like, I find this weird that it doesn't automatically link up to earnings. So maybe has economic data. I'm probably not utilizing Thinkorswim to its, you know, optimally. That's possible as well. So going by my old indicators, crazy. Okay, so ADTX, wow. Oh, I see what's happening because I have the 200 on here. It starts off really like low. Okay. And one of my viewers previously, Duan Julio, I think, had provided some ThinkScript to add the 200 simple moving average on here. So I might put that back on too. That was kind of cool. But maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to add the indicators back on. So ADTX, CAST. CAST is still above VWAP though. Crazy to have the indicators on here. Wow. WKSP tapping the 9 EMA. WPRT. See, this is where I would be like, it's below VWAP, below the 9 EMA, MACD's red. That would be just like, I wouldn't even look at anything else. QTEX. Yep. I wouldn't even look at this unless it looks like a break of VWAP potentially. Is that a VWAP reclaim? But the MACD's still red. It's kind of trying to flip green though. If it goes above VWAP, I bet it'll flip green. I gotta go back and get that ThinkScript. That was really good. That I thought I saved it, but WKSP. An investor bought 10 million at a price of 120, so that's decent news. But they do have an operating loss of 5 million a quarter, so that money's not that relevant. I'm cool with this short. Got it. You see a letter from 6-4 and it's from Edgar. I don't see it. I must have like another setting on there. Let's see. For some reason, it's not showing me. Let me try. When you look at cast and you see those 3 massive moves down, these 3 here, 1, 2, 3, yep. You're going to have folks whom got stuck in those trades. Yeah, making it hard to continue to trade knowing all that selling. Yeah, so one of the, like this week, my weekly goal is to work on candlestick patterns. And one of the things I have been asking myself is, what is the dominant candle in the session? And it's definitely red. I mean, there's a long green candle here, but I feel like the red candles are dominating. BIRD from yesterday is trying to break the highs. Did it have news yesterday? So many good things to look at today. I'm surprised at how busy it is for a Friday. Oh, that's interesting because I was looking at it yesterday, apparently. So I've temporarily kind of, I'm putting my indicators back on there just to sort of, okay, so I'm going to go through the list, see where everything's at. I'm going to look at the scanner, BIRD, WKSP, ADTX, MACD is red, so that would normally kind of disqualify it for me. CAST, MACD's red, and it has dropped below this level of support. And those big red candles. But I don't feel like CAST is out of the running yet. WKSP, it's trailing the 9 EMA. So this is where I would get really rigid about things. I'd be like, well, the MACD is red. But I could see maybe going for a high of day on that. Right, right. I'm trying. I'm not doing all the right things, but I think I'm doing some of the right things. I'm just trying to get rid of the wrong things, buddy. Oh, you see it in Webull. Okay, cool. Okay, see, look, we're learning. We're learning. This is good. Okay. Now, when I had the indicators on my charts, I was doing other setups. Now I'm really focused on like high of day. This is kind of coming up to a potential trade for me, but I see the volume is low. I see that the MACD is kind of red, but MACD is a lagging indicator, right? It is a potential breakout. Oh, it's a lot of price hesitation. I'm in at 118. Oh, that's a lot of price hesitation. Wait, I can't really see the level 2 so well. There we go. Okay, that was just a tiny scalp trade, right? It was 1 cent. 1 cent. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be really patient. But I saw something, so I took it. So what was the first one I traded? CRVO, right? CRVO, and that was a flat top breakout. This is WKSP, and that was a high of day breakout. Now, I could have used this right here as my breakout, right here, instead of the top of the candles. That's probably where I should have done my breakout. Maybe, I don't know. See, this is where I'm getting a little bit lost. Yeah, that's the problem with penny stocks. That is exactly the problem that I've had. But that's my problem anyway. I'll have pretty good accuracy most days, but my losses are bigger than my winners. It's like I'm definitely having trouble with risk management. My accuracy was terrible yesterday, though, because I took some red trades after the live stream. So I went from red to redder. That was awful. But I'm a little bit distracted by all of the indicators. QTEX. It's hovering right above VWAP. That's the part that I find really interesting is VWAP. I don't really use the 20 EMA. But here it is kind of tapping it. Yeah. Well, I have to learn too, right, buddy? I have to learn on my own time. I felt like, whoops. I don't know, I felt like it was a potentially good entry. I was looking for a high of day breakout. I'm just not sure if I should have broken out here or here. But why would you not have taken the trade? Why would you not have QTEX float too high? There is no trades there either. That is a higher float than I would normally trade, but I'm less rigid about it than I used to be. I think there's a potential flat top breakout here. If I see a good trade, I'm taking it, even if it's like a higher float. No, I hear you, but okay, so QTEX, the float's too high, so that's one of the reasons you wouldn't take that one. But as far as WKSP, what would be? Is it simply because of the price of the stock? I just don't like all these red candles. All right. So PBK, this looks like, I'm trying not to get distracted by my indicators, but this does look like it's on the backside of the move. I'm trying to remember all my other things that I'm supposed to be focused on. You know what I mean? Too cheap for you. Okay. So that is something that I had, I was never traded penny stocks, but if I see good price action, I do take them now. But only if I see something good. I don't trade them because they're cheap. I trade them if I see price action, Of course, I might change my mind in a month, because I'm really trying to adapt based on my data. So on QTEX, yeah, right now, I don't see anything right now. Seems like there's a level of, whoops. They have a great news though. They have really great news. Seems like there is a level of resistance here. So if I think about volume and levels of support and resistance, it taps it here. There's some volume here. Here, there's some volume here. So this would meet the 2 out of 3 criteria for a level of support. So indicators are for reference. Yeah, so Herb, I got so caught up in the indicators before that I was very distracted by like the indicators and not really looking at the fundamentals. So I'm experimenting with putting them back, but I'm not sure the 20 EMA is really, I'm not sure I really need that. So I'm gonna hide that. All right, because I'm already getting distracted. But I feel like VWAP is good to have. I kind of want to put that script back on that Duvan Julio had left in the chat a while back. I don't know if he still visits, but that was actually really, really helpful. And I thought I saved it somewhere, but I'm not sure I did. Let me see if I can find. Can I search in the community section? Let's see. No, maybe it was on one of my posts. I think it might have been on one of my posts. Let's see. I'll have to look later because I really liked that. It was pretty awesome. All right, CDT is popping up. CDT. CDT is popping up. Let's see what's going on with that. See, this is kind of messing up my mojo here, so I'm gonna find that later. That script. I don't know where I put it, but I'll hide this for now. Okay, there we go. Because I can always put it on the daily for now. Why don't I do that? I'll put it on the daily for now. So let's see. Oh, but it uses that study set. I'd have to load the study set. That's fine. I don't feel like going through all that right now. All right. CDT, strategic investment into Sauerborg and expansion into quantum computing. Ooh, this seems to be the thing of the day, quantum computing. Is something going on with that? CDT, it's already in the backside of the move after the action to suit. You'd not pay attention again the rest of the session. CDT would have been up your alley. Yeah, but you know, this is the first pullback. Maybe I will get in if it breaks high of day. Let's see. Good news and cheap. CDT short. Oh, you're short, flip-flop. Okay. That might be my biggest indicator not to get into this. If flip-flop's short, then I don't know if I want to trade against him. That might be the biggest indicator. But it's tapping the 9 EMA. Popping back up. I like the news, though. I really like the news. But what's implied value? That's weird. Implied value is kind of vague, right? Buddy, I am not being on top of it today, as you can see. So I used to buy the dips, but my data showed that I was actually losing a lot of money on my pullbacks. And so for now, I'm not doing those. I'm actually doing much better on high of day breakouts. And again, I'm not trying to be like right. I'm just following my data. I was doing terrible on pullbacks and dips. So until I get better at them, I'm focusing on the setups that I am doing well on, which are high of day breakouts and flat top breakouts, like breaks over a level of resistance. Although I did get a bull flag pullback yesterday that was really good. I'm kind of, my data did not support success on those. So, but like here, I see that it might try to go for high of day. I think this is good news, but I don't see the volume with it. Well, this candle just started. And I see a lot of topping tails at the top there, so. But looking at the level 2 to see if there are any like big sellers on the ask. Looking for a break over 145, but now, all right, so now, like this was a closing Maribozu, right? This is a doji. This is maybe a spinning top. This is, I'm trying to identify the candlestick shapes. This is an opening Maribozu, right? This is like is that a high wave? This is a shaved bottom bearish. So these candles are being inconsistent, right? So one of the things I've been working on this week is like, this candle is bullish, but this one's bearish. This one's bearish. I'm getting a lot of inconsistent signals. This is definitely a bearish candle. You are hoping it gets hyped more, over $2. Got it. Like the biggest indicator that something's gonna drop is like flip-flops. Like, I just got locates. But no. But yes, kind of like, okay, so these 3 candles, 1, 2, 3. Well, this one's kind of overlapping with this one a little bit. But we have 3 long candles. These are bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. Now this is like a doji, kind of like a doji star. It's very jumpy, right? Yeah, I think so too. It's very jumpy. That's what happened to me in my first trade yesterday. I think it was CLMT. It was just like very jumpy. And that's the right word to describe it. That is exactly the right word to describe it, because that's what I was thinking afterwards, but I couldn't I didn't put all the words together. I didn't articulate it, but that is a good word to describe it. So this here is a bearish spinning top. I'm not abandoning my goal, guys. I'm not abandoning my goal, my candlestick patterns and shapes, but I'm struggling to see the patterns. It's funny. I'm seeing the shapes, which was last week's goal, but I'm struggling to see the patterns. Yeah, I mean, it's better to just sit on your hand. If you don't see something good, don't trade, you know? I don't feel pressure to trade anymore. I don't do that to myself. I don't put myself in that position to force myself to trade anymore. I felt like a little bit of pressure when I started the live stream, like, oh, what if I'm not doing a thing? But honestly, I just have to trade the way I'm supposed to trade, right? I think this is going to break through, but all right, so let's look at the other ones. WKSP, I made $1. All right, so this was the previous level of resistance, either here or here. I'm still getting used to trying to figure out where exactly to put the level of resistance. But there really isn't a volume spike here, but it's clearly a reversal. This is clearly a reversal, and these are tweezer tops, right? This is tweezer tops, pulls back, and there's another reversal here, pops up. What did I trade here? I traded the high of day breakout. Yep. More resistance here. There is volume here. Comes down. And now it broke a VWAP. So the MACD is red. I'm getting used to the indicators again, you know. There's no trade on CDT until candle to 153 gets negated. 153. Oh, I missed the breakout. I missed the breakout. Okay, so 153 right here, this candle right here, the high of day. Yeah, that's, I think it might go for, oh my God, I missed the breakout. Added at 165. Okay. Ah, I missed it. MACD's green too. Wow, I forgot how helpful MACD is. MACD's been green the whole time. And there was a surge of volume on the breakout. Look at that. That's that volume that we were talking about. You're not in CDT. That's what I'm playing with. I mean, I do best on these kinds of trades, like a high of day breakout. Oh my goodness, it's going to 2. Lee goes, you're like, I'm good. Oh, here's a reversal. All right, so QTEX, I'm just going to kind of look through things here. I really love the news here, and I think this might come back up later today, but PBX clearly on the backside of the move because, you know, now I'm really getting better at trend lines, not just looking at VWAP, but it is below VWAP. BIRD, that's the confirmation, right? BIRD is just messy looking to me. I'm going to take that off the list. WKSP. This is where MACD was really helpful, is I feel like it was confirmation of the backside of the move. I mean, because this is a head and shoulders, right? This is a head and shoulders, I think. And this is the trend line down. Yep. So that's where MACD was very helpful. Look at, okay, so it's pulling back right around 2, right under 2. Oh, I missed the breakout. Big orders on the bid dragging the price down. Now, what do you consider a big order, buddy? This came up one day where I was like, big is relative. Someone said that they look at if it's more than a percentage of the float, they consider it a big order, which makes sense, right? Because float is the available shares to trade on the open market. And if the order is above a certain percentage of the available shares, I guess that's a big order. When I Googled it, it said if it's big relative to the orders around it, like 5 times more than the surrounding orders. So for example, here, like 12,000, 15,000, right? People trying to buy shares at 15,000. 15,000, I see them popping up, right? People trying to buy shares. Big bids. So that's a good question, barbecue burrito. That is a good question. Okay, so this is the way to think about it. If someone puts a big order on the bid, let's just say an order for 10, they want to buy 10,000 shares of CDT, right? It kind of works both ways, right? They're showing that they have confidence that they want that to go up, right? But that hasn't happened yet, right? That hasn't happened yet. But they're saying it's like the future. They're saying they want to buy those shares, but that hasn't actually happened yet. If they're well below ask, the market makers. So you know what's really interesting to me is I was looking this week at because I was reading that like when you see the orders flip, which I'm still trying to figure out what they meant by that, but oh yeah, fake orders. So they'll put the orders on there and then pull them, which they're not really supposed to do. So but the orders on the bid, I mean, the bid and the ask is really the future. That hasn't happened yet. It influences the market, but it actually hasn't happened. The tape is what's actually happening. The tape is these are the actual fills going through. So if you see something on the bid or the ask, it can influence buying and selling, but if that order doesn't actually go through on the tape, then it can be, something that gets canceled, or what do they call it, spoofing. But I'm still kind of trying to understand how the market makers manipulate it. Like that's definitely the next level for me of understanding. And actually Monday is my level 2 day. I have a fundamental that I try to work on each weekday now. So Monday I'll be doing a lot of paying attention to level 2 because I really, really, really want to get better at that. You can also think of it like if you want to buy shares at a lower price than the top of the bid, it has to go through all of the sellers are going to sell to all those people before it gets to you, right? You see a bigger order at 5,000 at 150, meaning the price will likely go to that level. Well, yes, possibly. But I think, and again, I'm a new trader, but I feel like the trap that it's easy to fall into is looking at this as absolute, and it's not necessarily absolute. This is definitely, these are orders that people want to buy shares, and these are orders for people that want to sell shares. Oh, okay. Like what kind of stocks do you do, buddy? Flip-flop. The MACD flipped green. This is heading down. Just got a notification that my robot vacuum is going back to its dock. I try to have my robot vacuum working while I trade. You just covered at 85 cents, only a 16-cent win. Hey, that is an awesome win in my book. That's an awesome win in my book. 16 cents a share. That's great. But what made you cover? Was there something that made you cover? That's great. That's still 17. Yeah. Well, isn't that what we're all trying to do, Herb? Like my goals. So, you know, I have my weekly goal, which is candlestick patterns. And then I have my daily goals, which are here. So I asked Claude to create a curriculum for me, and I'm going to be focusing on a fundamental every day of the week. Level 2 on Monday, tape reading on Tuesday, chart patterns and trend lines on Wednesdays, support and resistance on Thursdays, and volume on Fridays. So tomorrow's a no trade day, but I can always just use the on-demand feature on Thinkorswim to look at historical charts and practice. And I'm hoping that by practicing and doing the drills and going through the exercises that I've asked Claude to create for me, and quizzes too, that it will help me learn those fundamentals. So, okay, yep. So do you follow Ross's 5 pillars of stock selection? It sounds like you do. Like stocks from, he was like stocks from $2 to $20, right? Which is pretty much what I do. Lower float. I do trade stocks with a slightly higher float sometimes, but mostly I try to stick to lower float stocks. Stocks that have gapped up more than 10% from the previous day's close, and stocks that are trading at 5 times the relative, the 50-day average for volume, so that their relative volume is more than 5 times. And then, of course, with news, it sounds like you follow his pillars of stock selection. I do mostly follow that. I actually have relative volume here with them some ThinkScript, but for some reason it's saying that the relative volume is 0, which doesn't really make sense, but sometimes it's funky like that. But like if I change this to my one of my scanners, this small cap scanner is like 4 of the 5 pillars of stock selection. So everything on here is under $10. I do filter for penny stocks though. Under $10, relative volume over 5 times the 50-day average. I also have a column for hard to borrow, easy to borrow. You can see float in Thinkorswim, but for some reason it calculates funky, so I have the shares outstanding less than 50,000 to account for the fact that the float might be less than the shares outstanding. So let's see. I'm kind of curious how the S&P is doing. Let's see, how How is the stock market doing today? I ask the internet periodically throughout the movie. It's trading higher after a sell-off in the previous session, driven by Federal Reserve rate hike signals. I thought that they were going to keep the federal funds rate the same. Am I crazy? I thought the federal funds rate was kept the same yesterday. Okay. So yesterday, the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee, voted unanimously to hold the benchmark interest rate steady. So the federal funds rate, if I'm not mistaken, that is the rate at which banks, the rate at which banks borrow money from one another, right? CDT is at high of day. Interesting. So, okay, if I look at my whole support and resistance thing, right? This is right under $2. There's a volume spike here. But is this really resistance? Yes, because 2 of the 3 criteria are met. It's close to the whole dollar, and there's a volume spike where it taps that level. So even if it doesn't tap it more than once, if it's near a whole dollar or a half dollar and has the volume spike, then that makes it a valid level of resistance, right? You're like, I want this over $2. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so you want it to go up higher. Yep. So now it's tapped twice at this level with a little bit of volume. And this is where I used to get tripped up by the MACD. Because I think this is a potential high of day breakout, but maybe I'll wait for confirmation over that level, right? Oh, wow. Look at that. The topping tail tapped the same level as this topping tail. So maybe this is resistance. This is where I'm getting confused about the resistance level. So this is a long green candle. Then here we have kind of a shooting star, another long green candle. Again, mixed messages. The price is moving higher, but it's like green, red, green, red. The candles are giving me mixed messages. And I guess this would be tweezer tops, right? Small, tiny wicks, but getting mixed messages here. That's what she said. Please squeeze me. That's what she said. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can say that about anything, though. That's what she said. Right? So I'm still like today my daily goal is so I have a weekly goal and a daily goal, which might sound really confusing, but the daily goals are fundamentals and the weekly goal is a bottleneck. So I try to work on, I'm going to continually hammer the fundamentals Well, this big red candle, okay, so this right here is a shooting star. And now this candle is a long red candle going in the same direction as this candle. So now we have a fade off of that level. Never broke over it. Glad I waited to see if there was confirmation. And now it broke this level, which, yep. Oh, flip-flop. This is good for you. This is very good for you. This is very good, right? Because if your average is 175, you're already at 30 cent gain. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, well, your strategy is just like completely working for you. QS. Let's see. Ooh, Eligos, is this a potential? I know you've been sitting out. Is this a potential for you? If you look at the profile of that move down in CD, it will give you some context of why it dropped and what a good volume profile should look like. Yeah, the volume, so the volume's increasing as the price is decreasing. That is not what I would look for a pullback. This is telling me that as the price is dropping, the volume's increasing. That's good for flip-flop, not good for me. Ooh, that's good news on QS. High float for me, but and easy to borrow. So those are two things I'm a little bit kind of, not that I won't trade it, but QuantumScape announces agreement with Honda on solid state battery technology. What? That's good news. I think this quantum thing is blowing up. You know, I'm just not feeling quick on the trigger today as far as like getting momentum trades. But you know, we were talking earlier about quantum physics, quantum computing, and AI. Well, now you add space to the mix, right? It's like the trifecta. Is that the right word? Trifecta. The intersection of space, quantum physics, and AI. Crazy times we live in. Oh, it's pushing higher. Whoops, I accidentally clicked this is going to wreck me. I hate the fact that I have to click in the active trader window. I almost just made a colossal mistake. My understanding of vague comments. Buddy, that is actually really funny. Well, I feel like I'm on I think I'm on the right path, but you know, I don't know if the SpaceX, I know that SpaceX got everybody excited. Ross was questioning in one of his recaps this week, did the space theme die already? I don't think it's dead. I think it's just a little bit of a pullback, so to speak. I think space is the next frontier. You know, space is completely like as vast as you can imagine. It's infinite, right? And quantum computing is as small as you can imagine, but they're completely interrelated. So I learned that from Stephen Hawking's Brief History in Time, which is not, as the back cover claims, an easy read. Like, it's not. All right. But I feel like quantum physics and space stuff definitely interrelated. But yes, this is a higher float than I normally would trade, but good news though, really good news. That's excellent news. I'm going to look at the daily chart. Okay. So there's like a potential window up to 964. That's the good news. Yeah. I think there's a pullback, a little pullback, because everyone was so excited about SpaceX, but I do think that it'll, you know. So this right here is a bullish inverted hammer. So this is actually 850. If I draw resistance here, the volume's not really spiking here. So there has to be volume, 2 or more touches, or what was the third thing? I'm really spacing out. Or a round number. Okay, so we've got $0.50 and we just have that. We don't have the above average volume here. And we don't have 2 or more touches. So is that really a level of resistance? Yeah, I just really like the news. But it is easy to borrow, which means that there's going to be more downward pressure on the price, right? Because of easy to borrow. That's why I put this on here, because I feel like that's really helpful. It doesn't mean I won't trade it, but like this, I'm not really seeing an indication to buy. I'm seeing a lot of topping tails. Oh, WOK. Guys, I haven't even really looked at the scanner much today. I'm like more just learning. Yep, I see it on the scanner though. WOK. I'm actually gonna look at the pre-market movers. So CS, I'm gonna take this off my list. No news though, no news on WOK. Again, not a deal breaker, but I do like to see news. It gives me more confidence that there's a reason why the price is moving. And so on this, it's a big gap up, right? Here at 9. So you would think there'd be news. Why did the price jump at 9 when news comes out at the top and the bottom of the hour? Interesting. Like VWAP chop? Yeah, I mean, I can see that people would do that, like trade VWAP chop. Yeah, WOK, I don't see why the price gapped up like this. Look at that, right at 9. I don't see news. I see here we have a hammer, a bullish shaved head, somewhere between a spinning top and a high wave. So this is indecision. This is a Takuri candle. I guess a bullish Takuri, but it's green. This is a spinning top. Yeah, just a lot of like a doji, a little spinning top. I don't really see anything here that is, but the gap up is interesting to me. It had to have gapped up for a reason, right? And this here, what's that, a dragonfly doji? Is that a dragonfly doji, like a small one? Ooh, flip-flop. 45 cents a share. That's great. Yeah, never really pulled the trigger on it. I was waiting for it to break the high. Now it's a double top, right? It's a double top. So thinking about candlestick chart patterns, which might be my goal next week, chart patterns. This would be I'm kind of collecting my patterns too. Chart patterns. I guess this would be a double top, right? And Walk just did a split. Oh, hey, TJ. 1 of 100. Okay. Okay. Good morning. Hi, Jorge. Or George. George. Jorge or George? Reverse split, that's why. Got it. Significant shareholder, HRT Financial made notable moves in work medical technology purchasing shares. Okay. Those transactions highlight active trading by a major holder. Yeah, definitely. Oh, this is so interesting. This chat is getting so good. You guys are like... Okay, so that accounts for the gap up. Okay. Yeah, the news has... So when I had Warrior Trading scanners, sometimes the news would pop up on there first, and then it would show up in Thinkorswim or vice versa. And so it really was nice to have multiple news sources because I felt like I was getting the news faster. I'm just looking at my old notes here. My old Warrior Trading notes. I kept them. So these are just regular patterns. It'd be interesting to go back and take the course again and see like what I've learned and what I've internalized and what I haven't. So it was a reverse split? Is that what it was? I have a you know, who knows if these notes are accurate, but I have an asterisk that says, don't trade news of split. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Info from tip ranks. Just ignore walk. It's done for you. But it's like a learning. So even if something isn't something I would trade, I do watch to kind of analyze like, why wouldn't I trade it? And kind of understand what's going on, you know, because when I'm not actively trading, I'm trying to learn, you know. Yeah, so I use for scanners, I use my own little scanner that I created in Thinkorswim. And then I use their pre-market movers and their percent change gainers once the market opens. And then I use Zendu Scanner Live on YouTube. And so I do have, you know, scanners going on, but even if I'm not trading things, I do want to analyze to understand like why. Why am I not doing that? Okay. Oh, that's a good process. Okay. So I did try Webull. I don't know, I couldn't get the feel for it. I really couldn't. And then I heard that they were starting to restrict stocks. And so I was kind of like, because I had the restriction lifted on Charles Schwab. So, okay. So, I mean, that's kind of what I've been using. And I'm clearly looking at the right stuff because most of it's popping up on my scanners. I mean, I can tell that some of you definitely have more advanced scanners than I do, for sure. It's clear. WKSP is popping back up. Oh, it's above VWAP. I can tell that some of you have more advanced scanners because I can just tell you're seeing stuff pop up really fast. And Warrior Trading was really fast. Like, I did really like that. They had a scanner called the Running Up scanner. They have, well, I'm sure they still have it. And I really liked that because that things hit that scanner right away. And I was able to get a lot of momentum trades that way. That's what I do. When I get to, when the market opens, I'll put like the top percent gainers up, you know? And it does catch most of it, you know what I mean? Oh, they did. Okay, that's good. I have a Webull account. Like, I've tried, but I just can't get the feel of it, you know? Go Team Webull. Yeah, I'm not against Webull. I have a Webull account. And I wanted to get good at it because they let you trade at 4 a.m. And I wanted to be able to trade from 4 to 7 a.m. so that when I traveled a lot this year. I don't think I'm traveling again till October when I go to Thailand. And, but it would be helpful to have like other time frames to be able to trade because I want to have that flexibility. Like, you know, I'm going to be training during the day and then we're going to be going out at night, hopefully watching fights and stuff like that. And I want to have a little bit more flexibility. I might have to change things up, but yeah. I mean, Ross was like, go, you know, go Webull, go Webull. So I'm glad they changed the restriction because that's so crazy to me. It's like, we're adults. Like, if we want to trade something, we should be allowed to trade it. You know, it was so frustrating when Schwab was restricting things and I'd sit there and watch everybody trading something that I can't trade, you know? Right, right. Maybe for the best. So, okay, so WKSP popped up again, but I'm not really. Although I do want to start getting into VWAP reclaim. Oh, look at that. It broke out. It broke out over VWAP. So that's interesting. CDT never broke high of day again. I was really hoping it would pop up. Good thing I waited for confirmation on that. And you know, I never really saw, well, there's a volume spike here, and it was just under $2. So that met that criteria. And then here, I didn't really see the volume spike. So, all right, CDT will take you off the list. GPUS. Oh, interesting. They announced a dividend. I guess that's going to get everybody excited, right? Yeah, I mean, I know that, but you know, I've been traveling a lot, so I wanted to kind of expand my options, you know, and just have an opportunity to trade at other times. I just couldn't get the feel of Webull. I think I'm just so like, I don't know, I just couldn't get the feel of it. Maybe later on I'll kind of dial into it again and give it another try. I'm sort of now focused on just getting really good at trading, but you can put that in the song. No restrictions. Sounds like really sounds gangster. She's got no restrictions. Oh, buddy, thank you. Drop by anytime. It was nice to have you. Great discussion. Guys, I love it when you guys are like active on the chat because I'm learning and, you know, it's great to hear what you guys are doing. And also, I mean, if I'm curious about something, Like, I can't be the only one, right? I'm sure there are other people on the chat that are curious about things too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll probably give Weeble another stab. I have a Weeble account. I'll probably give it another try to try to see if I can get used to the platform. Maybe it's because I'm an old person. I don't know. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's just, I have to find my way of using it. You know what I mean? Aw, thanks. Oh, thanks, buddy. I'm sure you're not a weirdo. But yeah, no, definitely. This is why I wanted to start the live stream, because I think it helps to give people a chance to connect. It's such a solitary activity, right? It's nice and it's nice to see what other people are doing. It's fun. It's fun to kind of see how other people are trading and hear what other people are doing. And if watching me stumble through it and struggle helps you guys, then you know, uh I'm all about that. so so QSU popped up on my scanner, but this looks pretty choppy to me, and oh, this is one of those leveraged ETFs. So I'm going to take that off the list because I don't see much going on with that in terms of volume. QS QuantumScape. More QuantumScape. This is so interesting now that I've got YouTube buddy. This is so interesting. Like, now that I have my indicators back on, I don't know, I just felt inspired to do it. I am less distracted by it, but it is really eye-opening. Because a lot of times I would be trying to guess, like, where is this, where is that? Now, some people only use the 20 EMA. I'm a little curious. Let's see. So if I feel like I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try the 20 EMA. Some people swear by the 20 EMA. But the 9 EMA is good because I like seeing the ones where it taps the 9 EMA. Maybe I need both. I don't know. But this is where the MACD is very helpful. But that's really more confirmation, right? So yeah, I gotta not get too hooked up. That's the one that I took off first, is the 20 EMA. It's the one I took off first. I was like, I'm never using it. Why do I have it on my chart? Yeah. I was like, why do I even have it here? I'm not using it for anything. Well, we're coming up on the market open, and hopefully we'll get some good stuff coming up to the market open. But again, I feel like this is kind of a Friday, even though it's Thursday. It's a sort of Friday. So I don't know. I'm thinking it'll be good during the market open, and then after that, it might kind of. Bye, buddy. Yeah, 5 minutes to open. We're almost there. So QS is easy to borrow. GPUS, easy to borrow. Higher floats. LNKS, APWC. Just kind of playing around with my little scanners here. BIRD climbing back up. Look at that. I'm not going to touch anything until the market opens, though. We're under 5 minutes to market open. I'll just kind of look at stuff. I'm going to actually look at my support and resistance drills. It says, for each name on your watch list, open the 5-minute chart from the prior day. Find the 2 to 3 prices that immediately stand out as places where price stalled, reversed, write down with proof. So that I can do after my live stream. And then during this session, oh, okay. And then calculate your accuracy for the day. So it's saying before trading, set points of resistance and support from the previous day. During the session, look at those levels, and then afterwards kind of calculate your accuracy for the day. Interesting. So BIRD is climbing back up. I don't see the volume there, though. There's a tiny spike here. I can't believe that it's already like 9:30. I can't believe it. I really haven't done much, but I feel like the learning is happening. We learned about SEC filings. We learned about, you know, I definitely focused a lot on support and resistance today. Chart patterns, and really dial in as much as I should have on those. Really didn't. Like right here, is this an evening star? No. No, because this is a shooting star. Really, the candlestick shapes kind of stuck finally, but the candlestick patterns didn't really stick yet. The single candlesticks I'm finally getting, but the 2 and 3 candlestick patterns I'm still really, really struggling on. But I guess I need to keep dialing in on that. Look at that. BIRD is coming back. Yeah, I would say I've got the single candlestick shapes locked in now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So that's the problem with AI is like you give it a task and it's only as good as your input. So I probably didn't specify, and I have like in the description, like I have my strategy, but yeah. So I need to go back, and for next week's drills, I'll ask it to give me drills that I'll try to be a lot more specific about what I can look for my specific strategy. I guess it didn't. That's the problem with AI. I mean, you know, if you don't put in the right input, you're not going to get the right output. And sometimes it's wrong. I'm like, dude, that is straight up wrong. You know? Like, I'm not a genius, but I can tell that's wrong. I don't need to be a fancy AI. But yeah, just kind of the patterns are still escaping me. Maybe I should focus on just the 2 candlestick patterns, but the 3 candlestick patterns, 2 and 3. What the heck is that? Someone's doing some work out there. So evening star bearish. Oh, wow. The market's going to open right now, guys. Good luck. Good luck, everybody. All right, so I'll see what's popping up on the scanner and all right, I'm going to take WOK off. I'm going to take GPUS off. Should I? I'm going to look at the opening range for some of these. WKSP. Is anything popping up? Okay, that's out of my price range. DMAC. A lot of stuff below VWAP, huh? DMAC. DMAC. What the? I don't know what's going on there, but that has such a low volume, it's not doing anything. All right. Interesting. CDT is trying to pop up again. This is interesting. This is where I could do like a VWAP reclaim, maybe. Maybe a VWAP reclaim. Kind of, where's my patterns list? My setups. Where did I put my setups? Chart patterns, setups, VWAP reclaim. Yeah, maybe. Maybe look at the 5-minute. You know what I could do? Is I could do a new scan. Let's see, I could do this scan. Oh, I did that, right? Where is it? Small cap percentage gainers. LNKS, it's not really. So we're about almost 5 minutes in. And SWBI, let's see, SWBI and TRAX. TRAX, let me take a look here. SWBI is kind of high price. Smith & Wesson. All right, so it's beyond the, it's already trading above the price target. Better than expected fourth quarter results. Nice. So QS, I'm going to take that off. And GPUS, it's kind of struggling, and also it's easy to borrow. TRAX is easy to borrow. I don't know what's going on there. Very low volume. Very, very low volume. APWC. I don't see specific news on that one. WKSB. This is the 5-minute opening range high. So this could be a point of resistance. There's a spike of volume. It's right around a whole dollar. Might dip in yep. I'm in at 104.5. But it flushed immediately. I'm a little confused looking at the level 2 and the chart. I'm a little confused. This is different than the price is like way different than what I'm seeing on the level 2. That is confusing me like to no end. I just got out of that. I don't like it. Okay, so WKSP. I was going for an opening range breakout. I was going for an orb, a 5-minute orb, which I don't normally do. And it was approaching like 30% down through the range. So I was like, I'm just going to get out of here. I didn't like that. CRVO again. Is that popping up? Oh, wow. It passed high of day and it's halted. Oh, Eligos, did you mean on WK? SP, topside wicks on that one. Yeah. I was going for the opening range breakout, but CRVO halted up. When you covered it 85 cents, you covered at the exact bottom. Yeah, I went red on that. So I'm negative 5 cents a share on that. Yeah. So this, I guess I got in a little too late. Yeah, this right here was a hanging man. And yeah, I don't know why. I must have got in right at the end of the candle, and then it put me at this candle. Yeah. I'll have to watch the live stream on that one. Sometimes I make too many trades to rewatch every single one of them, but I'll definitely go back and watch this one. I'll put a little note because I'm curious why I thought I was getting in on this candle for the breakout. I don't know. Oh, so you flip-flop were you covered when it hit 85 cents. Oh, okay, down here. Oh, wow. That is lucky. That is lucky. I'm thinking I might be interested in the halt. I don't know. What does this look like on the daily chart? Oh, wow. This is the highest the price has reached in a year. That's really good news for Smith & Wesson, huh? Paper entries at the support level when buy pressure is present and sell at the high if it stalls. Oh, to like practice that. Identify local support levels. As you identify the high, consider paper entries at the support level when buy pressure is present and sell at the high if it stalls. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Why didn't you get in on the previous candle before it was so extended? You're curious. Are you guys talking about WKSP? WKSP? Well, I was looking for a break over. Okay, that's a good question. I'm actually going to screenshot what you just said, Aligos, because I'm going to have to unpack that later. And okay, that way I can I'm just going to call it drill one. Okay, because I'll do that as an exercise tomorrow or later today. Thank you, Aligos. I'll have to unpack that later. because I have to look at it on the chart. Why didn't you get in the previous candle before it was so extended? You're curious. So I'm leery, Herb, about trading in the first 5 minutes unless I see like a gap and go momentum trade. And so I was trying the opening range breakout setup where the 5-minute opening range breakout. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, and I saw this is the high. And then I was going to get in if it broke this high. To be honest, I have had terrible luck with this setup. I gave it another try, but my accuracy rate on opening range breakouts is terrible. And I just went red again. It's supposed to be one of the easiest, most reliable setups, and I never hit it. Like never, never, never. So that was it. Set the potential trading range. You can better identify potential gains. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll have to like unpack that because I think my brain's like not quite wrapping around what you're saying. I'd have to look at it on the chart. CRVO. Now look at this. WKSP is hitting high of day. Well, not high of day, but it's breaking this level again. Breaking the opening range high again. Potentially. But in any case, CRVO running up. Wow, look at that. I don't know. This might halt down. Yeah, my orb accuracy is in the toilet. I can't get it. Yeah, I missed it too, but it's not holding on the way down. It's kind of like holding. Candle 50 before the bell. Yes, he would. I just had terrible accuracy on the pullbacks, right? You use pre-market highs and lows. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So for your trades during the market open, you look at pre-market highs and lows. Because break of pre-market high is one that I was kind of looking at for a potential breakout trade, but yeah, I just did terrible on the pullbacks. Like my accuracy was bad. I was losing tons of money on them. For some reason, I was getting a ton of false breakouts and just not understand something about it. I'm not understanding. But like if I just see, I get really cluttered with all this stuff on the chart. If I just take all the stuff off. Okay, it's a lot easier for me to see what's happening now. Here. Oh, it did halt going down. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they use the pre-market data. I mean, and people that just trade in the regular market hours, that's what they do, right? So I've been seeing this a lot where, so this is the, I guess this isn't high enough to be dark cloud cover, right? It has to be above it. Yeah, but I wanted to see what I would see with all the indicators on the charts. It was a good experiment, but I do think it was difficult to see what was really happening. I do find that and Buddy brought up a lot of good points. He was like challenging me on things, which I want. I want you guys to challenge me. But more than that, I think it was really the indicators. I find it visually distracting. So maybe I should I think I need to use them judiciously. I'm going to take the 20 off. I'm going to take this off. I think VWAP and the 9 EMA are fine. But the 9 EMA, I'm not even sure, do I really need that? What is it telling me here? I already can see the pattern. Maybe just VWAP. Yeah, I think he was offering a lot of value. He knows what he's doing. He's got a strategy that works for him. And that's like all of you guys, right? Those of you who are profitable, you have a strategy that works for you. And there's going to be differences in everyone's strategy, for sure. But yeah, I think I was distracted by all the stuff. And the thing is, it's good to watch MACD, but I feel like it sometimes influences my decisions in the wrong way. And it's such a lagging indicator. I think I like VWAP though. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know. Pseudo Friday mindset. Yeah, I'm sort of feeling like I mean, I'm like up $1. If I see something, I'll take it, but I feel like it's going to kind of, No, this is interesting because this is where I would have said VWAP was. Did I really need VWAP to tell me that that's where it is? That's why I'm like, is it just visual clutter or is it helping me make decisions? Like here. is this really helping me make a decision? I mean, I kind of know, like, I can kind of see that there should be like a trend line here, or I can kind of see that this was clearly support and now it's clearly resistance. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like so well respected by people. But is it helping me? That's the trick, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think I was getting distracted. The great debate about whether or not to have indicators on my charts or not. I don't know. I feel like this is more helpful. Like, this is so clear, you know? And then, of course, with the indicators on, I didn't even look at the tape in the level 2, hardly at all. I barely looked at the tape. And that's where the real action is. You know, like this here, this is a lot more easier. It's easier for me to read with all the stuff on it. I just don't know if it was helping me. Some of them are like lines in the street, right? Maybe I'll put them on when I feel like I'm unclear what to do for extra confirmation, but maybe not let myself get too distracted by it. So here it said, okay, a couple of points, levels of support and resistance here. There's volume, not as much volume here. Here there's volume. Here there's volume. So this level is clearly, and it plays out, support and resistance. Lots of food for thought. Guys, this was a great discussion this morning. Honestly, I love the active chat. I love it. I love the input. Clearly I have a long way to go in developing my strategy, but I'm going to keep hammering the fundamentals and just keep hammering them away, hammering at the fundamentals. I think that's probably where my success lies in terms of understanding what's happening. It's a long weekend. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your holiday. Thank you. Yeah, I think the indicators are great. It was a fun experiment to put them back on, but I'm not sure. Yes, sometimes it confirms things, and other times I feel like it muddies the water. And I'm like, okay, now what do I do? I'm still unclear, you know? All right, guys, have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the holiday. I hope you have fun plans, and I will see you guys on Monday. All right? Yeah, have a great day. Bye, guys.